Alright, so I just cut up the lion's mane. We're gonna eat it like a steak today. There's a variety of ways you can prepare this mushroom, but this is how we're gonna eat it today. And we're gonna saute it up with a little bit of red palm fruit oil for the color. And we're also gonna add a little bit of Old Bay because this mushroom tastes like lobster. So we're gonna add the Old Bay for a little bit of seafood flavor or a seafood archetype for the meal. So we're gonna get to cooking here. You can pause it for a second. All right, so Matt and Thomas so gracefully hooked up these potatoes. I love the words in the sentence. Gracefully hooked up the potatoes.
Yeah. And then the brain mushroom.
Yeah, the lion's mane. We're gonna hit up with a little bit of ginger. Ooh. Just get that nice and seasoned.
It looks like angel food cake. It's like so.
It's so light.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all those like nice little crevices for the seasoning to go in. And then we're gonna hit it with a little bit of this Cajun seasoning. Oh my goodness, it's making my mouth water.
Now, I wonder, is it gonna turn like crispy or just?
Oh, it's gonna get It's gonna get a little crisp on the outside because we're gonna fry it up.
Yeah, I was thinking.
With a little bit of that red palm fruit oil. This is so good for cooking with. I recommend everybody have this in their kitchens. Full of beta carotene, great for you. And then we're gonna mix it up with a little bit of these mixed vegetables. After, we're gonna cook these separate. I don't like to cook my vegetables with my mushrooms because I don't like the mushroomy flavor that gets into the vegetables. I like my fungi flavor separate from my vegetables. If you do like the mushroom flavor, go ahead and cook it all together, and your vegetables will get a nice funky. No. There's actually a new flavor. I forget what people. It was Japanese. It was a flavor that went along with earthy. Yeah, umami. I think it was either the flavor of MSG or earthy flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, mushrooms have their own kind of flavor going on. You have to get like a whole flavor profile, just like somebody would attune their taste buds to differentiate between fine coffees or fine wines or even fine cannabis with the smells. Because if you don't know anything about it, it all smells like a funky, weird smell. But if you attune yourself to it, you can taste the different varieties of coffee. If you don't know, it'll just taste all like coffee. If you don't know, it'll just taste all like wine. But once you tune your senses, you can get a differentiated experience. It's the same with mushrooms. Alright, so we have the red palm fruit oil. We're just getting it a little bit melted here. Get the pan nice and hot. We have our vegetables cooking. We started everything else first because the mushrooms do not take long to cook at all. So getting our oil nice and hot so that the mushrooms don't absorb all the oil. That's not what we want. We just want it to saute. So we're going to go ahead and take our individual mushroom steaks. You can turn it off. It'll look like when it's ready.
When it's ready.
Alright, when it's ready to flip, it'll get nice and brown and crispy on the one side. And go ahead and flip it. Got that nice color. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Wow. Yeah, just flip them over. Let them get a quick sear on the other side, and we're good to go. Nice and golden. And the one thing about mushrooms, you want to cook them to bring out the active compounds. A lot of the active compounds in the mushrooms come out with heat. They're binded in with the chitin. So with a little bit of heat, it breaks it down. That's why a lot of people make mushroom teas, things like that. So mushrooms are one of the foods that you do want to cook first before you eat them. Otherwise, I recommend eating a lot of raw food. I do saute my vegetables every now and then. But just a little quick tip there. So they're nice and ready here. when you got nice brown on both sides. So we're gonna go ahead and get these off the heat. As I was saying, mushrooms. This mushroom steak here, this is a lion's mane steak. Homegrown lion's mane steak. The one thing I was saying about mushrooms is that if you're a vegan, this is the closest thing to a meat substitute. Not as though you were looking for meat, but in DNA, mushrooms are closer to animals and humans than plants. This literally has a fleshy texture, but it's so delicate. This is such a delicate mushroom. It's so delicious.
It's like
We got it nice and crisp with a little bit of that spicy Cajun seasoning on it.
This for Thanksgiving.
So delicious. This is going to be a family favorite.
It's a timeless classic.
Fungi for the future, propagated myceliate. Not to mention, fungi are the only produce source of vitamin D.